What if the man who ruined your life ends up being the love of it? This is a story of betrayal, second chances, and a baby that changes everything. You won't believe how it ends. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and get ready, because this love story will leave you breathless.
They said the world would feel different when I got out. They were wrong. The sun still burns too bright on my skin, too raw from prison air. The noise of the city still presses against my skull like a migraine. And people still look at me like I don't belong. Because I don't. Not anymore. 3 years. 3 goddamn years stolen from me for something I didn't do. And I still remember the sound of the gavel, like the end of my name. Scarlett Hayes. Guilty. Guilty. The word has lived in my skin ever since. No matter how many showers I took in that filthy concrete box, I couldn't wash it off. Couldn't scream loud enough. Couldn't prove it. And now I walk out of those gates with nothing but a plastic bag of stay-to-shoot clothes and a name that no longer means anything. No one waited for me. No parents. No friends. No one believes in innocence after the sentence is read. Not even me most days. I step onto the sidewalk and feel the cold air bite through my jacket. It's fall, I think. October. The leaves are too bright. The people move too fast. I want to disappear. Then I see him. A sleek black car, parked across the street. The back door opens like some kind of slow-motion threat. And out steps the man I never thought I'd see again. Leo Grayson. Tall, deliberate, as untouchable as he was the day he sat in that courtroom and gave the testimony that shattered my life. He didn't lie, but he didn't protect me either. And in a world like that, silence is just another kind of betrayal. I want to run. My feet won't move. His eyes lock onto mine. And God, I wish they didn't still do that thing to me. That pull.
Scarlett, can we talk?
He says, voice low, controlled, like everything about him. I laugh. Sharp and humorless. You're 3 years late. He doesn't flinch. Of course not. Leo Grayson doesn't flinch. Not even when he ruins lives.
I'm here now.
Why? Did you come to watch me unravel? Take notes for your next board meeting. His jaw ticks. There it is, the crack in the marble.
I came because I owe you.
Owe me? I step closer. The edge of my fury trembles in my voice. No, you don't owe me. You buried me. With your silence. With your influence. You gotta walk away clean while I rotted behind bars. His mouth opens like he's going to argue, but he doesn't. He nods.
You're right.
The wind picks up, tangling my hair across my face. I push it back with a trembling hand. I want to scream. I want to punch him. I want to ask why he looks at me like he feels something. Like he still wants something.
I have a proposal.
He says quietly. I narrow my eyes. Is this your idea of an apology?
No. It's a way to make it up to you. I want to offer you a place to stay. A job. Something stable. Until you can decide what you want.
You want me to work for you? I laugh again. Is that a sick joke?
It's not charity. It's a contract. You live in the guest house. You work as my personal assistant. 6 months. I pay you well. Then you can leave or stay. Whatever you want.
He says, stepping closer. His scent hits me like a memory I hate. Sharp, expensive, devastating. And why would I ever trust you? I whisper. He leans in, voice just above a breath.
Because I never stopped thinking about you. And because I know I owe you more than words.
For a moment, the city fades. It's just him and me, inches apart. I feel the tension like a wire between us. Dangerous. Unspoken. Electric. I should say no. I should walk away. But I'm cold. I'm broke. And some part of me wants to see if he can really fix what he helped break. So I nod. Once. And everything changes.
I've built entire empires on precision. Numbers don't lie. Contracts don't feel. People, when compartmentalized correctly, are manageable. But she was never manageable. Scarlett Hayes. I hadn't seen her in 3 years. Not since the courtroom. Not since I watched her be led away in handcuffs, her face pale and defiant, her eyes locking on mine like they were begging for one last truth. And I didn't give it. Because I believed what I saw. Because I let the facts speak louder than the girl I once. No, I didn't let myself feel then. Feelings are expensive and messy. But when I saw her standing on that sidewalk outside the prison gates, the noise of the world muted. She was thinner, paler, shadows where light used to live in her eyes. But she still held her chin up like she was daring the universe to hit her again. And God help me. I wanted to protect her. Scarlett had been the executive assistant to my late partner, Dean Morris. On paper, she had access to confidential financial files, including the accounts involved in the embezzlement case that nearly tanked our firm. When the investigation started, I reviewed the logs. Her credentials were used to transfer over $4 million through shell companies. My testimony wasn't personal, it was procedural. She had access. Her name was all over the audit trail. The prosecution ran with it. I told myself it wasn't my job to defend her. But now I know better. Because 3 weeks ago, I found out the truth. Dean Morris wasn't just skimming off the top. He was setting Scarlett up. Using her credentials, manipulating the security logs, forging her signature. And now he's dead. Found in a hotel in Miami, overdosed and alone. Alongside him, a flash drive, and the confession that made my stomach turn. He framed her. She went to prison because I didn't look deep enough. Because I believed a pattern instead of a person. And that guilt, it's poison. I tracked her down the day she was released. Didn't tell her what I knew. Not yet. I wanted to see her first. Wanted to remember what it felt like to be human again. When I offered her the contract, I expected her to spit in my face. But she didn't. Her eyes were fire and ice all at once, and still she signed. 6 months. Personal assistant. She'd live in the guest house behind my penthouse downtown. I told myself it was to help her get back on her feet. But if I'm being honest, it was also to keep her close. And now she's here. It's only been 3 days, and already my world feels unstable. She walks through the halls like she owns them, unapologetic and graceful, and that way she always was. I watch her when she doesn't see me. The way she bites the inside of her cheek when she's annoyed. The way her fingers tremble when she thinks no one's looking. She doesn't trust me. I see it in every glance she doesn't give. But there's something else under her anger. A current. A charge. Tonight, I watch her from across the room. She's perched on the edge of the long leather sofa, bare legs crossed, wearing a fitted navy dress. Her lips are slightly parted as she reads some notes on notebook, her tongue flicking out just once to wet them. I should look away, but I don't. I can't. She notices. Her gaze lifts, slow and sharp.
I'm not here for you to stare at me, Leo.
My jaw tenses. I wasn't. Her smile is cold.
You were. You are.
She stands and walks toward me, heels clicking softly on the hardwood floor. She stops just a few inches away, close enough that I catch the faint scent of vanilla and something darker, smoky, sensual.
I know what this is. You feel guilty. Guilt makes men do stupid things.
I'm trying to make things right. Her eyes narrow.
You can't fix what you destroyed, but you can pay for it.
She leans in just enough to make my pulse spike, then brushes past me, her shoulder grazing mine, intentional and cruel. God, she's dangerous, and I deserve every dagger in her tone. But what scares me most isn't her anger. It's that despite everything I've done, I still want her, and I don't know how long I can pretend otherwise.
There's something humiliating about folding your underwear in the house of the man who helped ruin your life. Leo Grayson's penthouse is a sleek, cold glass and steel kind of palace. The kind of place where silence feels expensive and emotions are kept locked behind frosted walls. It's been 7 days since I moved in, 7 nights since I started working for him again. This time not as an executive assistant to the team, but directly to him, his personal assistant. Alone, in his space, in his world. I sleep in a guest room on the opposite side of the penthouse. I eat quietly in the corner of his massive kitchen, pretending not to notice when he walks in shirtless after his morning workouts. Damp from the shower, abs glistening like they were sculpted by a god with something to prove. And every night, I tell myself the same thing. Don't trust him. Don't feel anything. Don't you dare want him. But it's getting harder. Today, he asked me to sort through the files on his office desk. Real ones. Thick folders with printed contracts. All scattered like a storm had hit. Leo sat behind his desk, sleeves rolled up, jaw sharp as ever, typing something with the kind of focus that makes you forget to breathe. I tried to keep my eyes on the documents. Tried, but I could feel his gaze on me. Like heat, like gravity. It slides over my skin every time I move.
Scarlett, you always did organize the chaos better than anyone.
He said suddenly, voice low. I didn't look up. Maybe because I wasn't trying to sleep with anyone. He laughed. Soft. Surprised.
Is that what you think this is?
I finally looked up at him. Isn't it? He stood, walked around the desk slowly. Not a predator. Not exactly. But something more dangerous. A man who's used to control. Who knows how to make women unravel without touching them. He stopped in front of me. Too close. I didn't move back.
I know you don't trust me, and I deserve that. But you being here, it isn't about guilt. It's about giving you something that should have never been taken. A life. A future.
You don't get to give me anything, I replied, chin high. I'm not your charity case. His eyes flickered, dark, intense.
No, you're not. You're the one thing in my life I can't quite predict.
I hated that my body reacted to him, that my pulse kicked up just from standing in his space, that even now, with every reason to hate him, I was aching to know what it would feel like if he touched me. I walked away before I could do something I'd regret. Later that night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, sheets tangled around my legs, skin too hot. The city lights painted shadows across the floor, and through the thin wall between us, I could hear him pacing, restless, just like me. This isn't a job anymore. It's a battlefield, and the more I try to build walls, the more he seems to find the cracks.
Scarlett moves through my apartment like a ghost I can't stop chasing. Quiet, controlled, always a few steps out of reach. She doesn't slam doors or yell or demand anything, but her silence is louder than any scream I've ever heard. She wears these soft cotton t-shirts and faded jeans that don't cling to her body, but somehow they do more damage than any tight dress I've ever seen. It's the way she carries herself. Like every movement is calculated, like she's daring the world to underestimate her. Again, I watch her when she makes coffee in the mornings, messy ponytail, barefoot, eyes half lidded with sleep. I watch her when she sorts my schedule with precise efficiency, every appointment lined up like clockwork. Even though I've stopped pretending I don't rearrange things just to catch her off guard. She doesn't know it, but she owns every room she walks into, and it's messing with my head. I used to crave silence. I built this penthouse like a temple to control. Glass, steel, clean lines, no clutter, no distractions. It's always been a reflection of me. But now, there's a coffee mug in the sink she forgot. A book she left open on the couch. A faint trace of her citrus shampoo in the hallway after she showers. And the silence. It's not peaceful anymore. It's electric. She was organizing the guest bedroom closet earlier. Her back turned to me, humming under her breath. Just a quiet, almost broken tune, like something from her childhood. It stopped me cold. I stood there in the hallway, watching her without a word, my hands clenched at my sides, jaw tight. She didn't see me. I didn't want her to, because I wasn't just watching her, I was wanting her. And it wasn't the kind of want that fades. It was visceral, dangerous. The curve of her neck as she reached for a shelf, the way her hip cocked when she balanced on one foot, the soft pink at the back of her knee when her jeans pulled just a little higher than they should have. Christ, I should have walked away, should have buried it, but instead, I stood there and let the ache bloom in my chest like a wound that had never fully healed. I told myself this was about redemption, about fixing what I helped destroy. But tonight, as I sit in my office, the door half open, and I hear her soft footsteps down the hall, I realize something's changed. I don't just want to fix Scarlett. I want to unravel her, learn the sound she makes when she stops holding herself together. And maybe, God help me, let her hear the sounds I make when the silence finally breaks.
He's watching me again. I can feel it. His gaze on the back of my neck, like heat from a fire I can't escape. Leo Grayson is silent, unreadable, standing across the kitchen with a glass of scotch in one hand and his tie hanging loose around his neck. I hate how good he looks like that. Rumpled. Undone. He shouldn't be allowed to look like sin when he's the reason my life was shattered. But that's not entirely true anymore, is it? This past week, I've caught pieces of a man I wasn't prepared for. A tired look behind his sharp jawline, the way he's careful around me, as if afraid he'll break something already in ruins. The way he lowers his voice when I flinch, he notices. He notices. Tonight, it's late. The rain's tapping against the windows like a heartbeat out of rhythm. I couldn't sleep. The past won't stop clawing at me. And neither will this growing ache between us that I'm too proud to name. I found myself in the kitchen, and so did he. We haven't said a word in 10 minutes. Just silence, charged and trembling. I look up and meet his eyes. And that's when I feel it. The tension doesn't build between us. It erupts, like it's been coiled for days, weeks, maybe even years if you believe in things like fate. His eyes burn into mine, the scotch in his hand forgotten. He doesn't blink, doesn't move, and I can't breathe. You don't have to keep looking at me like I'm broken glass. He doesn't flinch.
That's not how I see you.
My throat tightens. But thank you for what you've done. Most people wouldn't have even looked my way. Not after prison. I pause, then add more carefully. It's hard out here. Harder than I imagined. He sets his glass on the counter, the sound too loud in the stillness.
I should have done something. Back then.
I stare at him. You gave your testimony. You told the truth.
My truth wasn't the full truth. I didn't push. I didn't dig deeper. I let the system eat you alive, and I walked away.
There's a flicker of real pain in his eyes, and it twists something inside me. You didn't know me.
I should have cared anyway.
Silence stretches again, the space between us charged with a tension I hate and crave in equal measure. His chest is inches from mine now. I can smell his cologne, dark, woodsy, expensive. I hate that I know it by heart already. His fingers graze my cheek, barely, but it's enough to light my skin on fire.
I don't deserve to be this close to you. But every night you're under this roof, I think less about what I deserve and more about what I want.
I want to pull away, scream, cry, anything, but instead I lean in, and so does he. Our lips are so close I can feel the heat of his breath. And I want it. God, I want it. But I don't move. Neither does he. And in that suspended second, where time forgets us, where every wound and want collides, I finally understand what real fear is. Not prison, not injustice. This, the possibility that if I kiss him, everything will change. I take a shaky step back. He doesn't follow. Don't. My voice is raw, Don't make this more complicated than it already is. Then I turn and walk away. But even with my back to him, I know his eyes are still burning into me. And mine won't close.
I was a fool to invite her. That thought hits me the second Jessica walks out of her bedroom, wearing a plain black dress that should have meant nothing. But on her, it's a problem. The fabric clings to her like a secret, like it knows something I shouldn't. Her hair is pulled into a low knot, loose strands framing her face, and there's no jewelry, no makeup, nothing extravagant. Just her. And fuck if she isn't the most beautiful thing I've seen in years. We ride in silence most of the way to the restaurant, and I spend the drive rehearsing the same mental line over and over again. This is a business dinner. She works for you. Get it together. But nothing prepares me for the moment she leans in to whisper in my ear as the waiter pours the wine.
I don't think you're okay. You're pale.
She says softly. She's right. My whole body feels like it's burning inside a block of ice. I'd ignored the scratch in my throat this morning, powered for meetings, forced myself into a suit and tie, and now it's catching up. I'm fine, I murmur, trying to straighten my posture, but I barely touch the food. I can't taste a damn thing. Every time I blink, my vision swims. I make an excuse, cut the dinner short. She doesn't argue. She just walks beside me as we return to the penthouse, silent and steady, like she somehow knows I don't want to talk. Back in the apartment, I loosen the collar of my shirt, took some medicine, and closed my eyes. When I open them again, she's in the kitchen. Jessica, what are you doing? She looks over her shoulder.
Making soup. You look like hell.
I don't need.
You don't know how to take care of yourself. Let me do this.
She interrupts. Her voice leaves no room for argument, and I don't have the strength to fight her. I let my head rest against the couch, listening to the quiet rustle of movement, the clinking of utensils. The sound is domestic, strange, comforting. Then,
Shit.
her hiss is soft, but urgent. I'm up in seconds, ignoring the dizziness as I round the kitchen island. What happened? She's holding her hand under the sink, crimson swirling down the drain.
It's nothing. Just a small cut. I was rushing.
Let me see.
Leo, really?
Jessica. She freezes. I take her wrist gently, turning her hand over in mine. The cut is shallow, but her skin is warm and soft, her breath hitching the moment my thumb grazes her palm. And then, that invisible line we've both been pretending not to see. It vanishes. I look up. She's watching me, lips parted, chest rising just a little too fast.
You shouldn't look at me like that.
Like what?
Like you want me.
I lean in, close enough to feel her breath against my lips. I've wanted you since the day you walked back into my life. She trembles. I swear she sways toward me. I stop myself. Just barely. My voice drops. I made rules, Jessica. I said I'd never cross that line. Her answer is a breath.
Then why does it feel like we already have? The moment his lips found mine, all the rules I'd sworn to follow evaporated. It started in the kitchen. Heat from the stove. Sure, but the real fire was in his eyes. One look, and I forgot everything. Forgot about my cut finger, about his flu. Forgot the contract. Forgot why I should hate him. Forgot my own name. For God's sake. He lifted me onto the counter like I weighed nothing, and I didn't resist. I couldn't. His hands gripped my thighs, spreading them just enough to step between. And then his mouth crashed against mine again. Deeper, rougher. Like he'd been holding back for years and finally let go. Our kisses were messy, desperate. His fingers tangled in my hair, tugging just enough to make me gasp. And that sound, it unhinged him. His name slipped from my lips like a broken prayer, and he answered it by pressing his body into mine. Hard, commanding, every inch of him telling me exactly what he wanted. What I wanted. He pulled back, just long enough to look at me, eyes dark, voice wrecked.
Scarlett, if you stay, there's no going back.
I'm not asking for a way out, I whispered, and that was it. He lifted me again, arms strong around my waist, and carried me to his bedroom like he'd been dreaming of this every night since the day we met. Clothes come off in frantic motions, buttons flying, zippers yanked. His fingers slide over my spine, leaving trails of heat. And I can't stop the moan that slips past my lips when his mouth finds the hollow of my throat. He carries me to his bed, and I lose myself in the way his body covers mine. The way he touches me, like he shouldn't, only makes it worse. Because it feels too good, too right, too dangerous. We move together like we were made for this moment, like fate itself was holding its breath. Every gasp, every whisper, every tremble beneath his hands makes me feel something I haven't in years. I hadn't made a sound like that in years. I hadn't felt like that in years. Alive, wanted, human. Our bodies collided in a rhythm that was all instinct, no words, just skin and breath, and the electric pulse of something forbidden finally set free. But it didn't stop there. Later, when the adrenaline faded and the moonlight spilled across the sheets, he reached for me again, this time slower, deeper, like he was learning every piece of me with his hands, his lips, his mouth. He whispered my name between kisses. He made me come undone with nothing but his fingers grazing the inside of my thigh and the soft scrape of his teeth along my collarbone. And still we weren't done. The third time. God, the third time. He pulled me into his lap, held me close, skin to skin, foreheads touching. It wasn't just sex anymore. It was something dangerous. Something that trembled at the edge of tenderness. I rode him slowly, deliberately, watching the way his jaw clenched, the way his hands shook when they gripped my hips. I kissed him when he came. He held me when I did. And after I lay there against his chest, our bodies slick and warm and tangled in sheets that smelled like him. Neither of us said a word, but the silence was loud, deafening, because I knew deep down something had shifted. And it wasn't just between our bodies. It was in our hearts. And I was terrified of what that meant.
Her leg was draped over mine, her skin warm and impossibly soft. The sheets tangled around our bodies like a secret we weren't supposed to share. I stared at the ceiling, wide awake. My arm was under her neck, but I couldn't move. Not because of the weight. Scarlett barely weighed a damn thing. But because I didn't want to wake her. And because if I did, I'd have to face it. Face her. Face what we did. Last night was a storm. And I was the idiot who walked right into the lightning, knowing it could burn me alive. My fingers itched to touch her again. Run down the curve of her spine. Feel her arch against me the way she had hours ago. Breathless, fierce, and so fucking real it undid me. But I couldn't let myself want her. Not again. Not when the scent of her was still on my skin. Not when my mouth remembered the taste of her moans. The way she whispered my name, like a confession. Not when my hands remembered the way her hips moved. Slow and desperate. As if we were the last two people on Earth, and this, we, was survival. Scarlett stirred, just slightly, her body pressing closer in her sleep, and I swallowed hard. God, what the hell was I doing? This wasn't just about attraction. It wasn't just about sex. That would have been easier. I could have pretended it was just release. A mistake. Blame it on the tension, on the contract, on loneliness. But this was something else. Because when I looked at her, really looked, I saw more than a beautiful woman tangled in my sheets. I saw her, the fire in her, the resilience, the way she'd endured more than most, and still walked into every damn room like the world owed her nothing, and she'd take it anyway. And I was terrified, not of her, of myself, of what I'd do if I let myself care, of how far I'd fall if I let her in. I had fallen before, and when I hit the ground, there was nothing left of me but pieces I spent years pretending weren't broken. I slipped out of bed carefully, like a coward, grabbing the nearest pair of sweats and walking to the window like I needed air. But all I needed was distance, space to clear the ache in my chest, the fear clawing its way up my throat. Outside, the city was still dark, quiet, except for the thrum in my veins that hadn't quieted since she first touched me. I heard the sheets rustle behind me. Her breath shifted. I didn't turn around. I couldn't, because if I looked at her now, I'd never be able to pretend again.
He hadn't touched me in 5 days. Not since that night. Not since his hands burned my skin like truth and lies colliding in the dark. Now Leo Grayson walks past me in the hall like I'm just another piece of his sleek, sterile world. White walls, glass doors, silence. And I let him. Pretend it doesn't gut me every time. Because when a man like Leo goes cold, it's never by accident. It's by design. I feel it in the way he speaks. Terse, clipped, like every word costs him something. The man who once kissed me like he was starved now won't even meet my eyes. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't break something inside me. But today, I find out why. I'm dropping off a file in his office when the name catches my eye. A folder, half open on his desk. I never snoop. I never pry. But that name, Hawthorne, it grabs me by the throat like a ghost I thought I'd buried. Assistant District Attorney Marcus Hawthorne, the man who twisted my trial into theater, who made me a criminal with a few choice lies and a hunger for headlines. The man who stole 3 years of my life. My blood turns to ice. And just beneath his name, I see the seal. Federal Financial Crimes Division. Leo's company is under investigation. And Hawthorne is back. The folder is snatched from my hand before I can blink. Leo's towering over me now, eyes sharp, jaw clenched.
What the hell are you doing?
Is that why you've been avoiding me? My voice is low, but I feel it cracking. Because you're being investigated? His expression doesn't change. But that silence, it screams. I step back. You knew, and you didn't tell me.
Scarlett.
No, I cut him off, holding up a trembling hand. Don't say my name like it still means something. Tell me the truth. Did you bring me here because of him? Because of this? I hate how small my voice sounds. I hate how much I want him to say no. But he doesn't. His eyes darken. His hands ball into fists, but still no answer. I laugh, a bitter, hollow sound. Unbelievable. After everything, after all your pretty words and careful touches, you're just another man who saw an ex-con and thought she'd make a good pawn.
It's not like that. You think I would have touched you if it was?
He finally says, voice rough. I don't know what to believe anymore, Leo. He tries to reach for me. I flinch. That hurts him. Good. Because it kills me. I go upstairs, pack my things in minutes. I don't cry. I don't ask him to stop me. I've begged in too many ways already. My suitcase bumps down the steps, loud against the silence of Leo's front entrance. Each step feels heavier than the last, but I force myself to keep going. 1 foot in front of the other. One more breath. Just one more. I don't look back. Not even when the front door shuts behind me like a whisper of goodbye. Not even when I feel him, Leo, standing behind me. Quiet. Still. Watching. He always watches. I keep walking toward the elevators, even as my stomach twists. Something between nerves and nausea rolls through me, hot and sour. I ignore it.
Scarlett.
He says from behind me, voice low, controlled. I stop, not because of him, but because the world spins. I clutch the suitcase tighter. Don't. Not now.
Talk to me.
I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. The next second, my knees buckle and I stumble to the side, barely reaching the bushes before I vomit. The sound is ugly. The moment worse. I hate that he's seeing me like this. Weak. falling apart, literally sick.
Shit.
Leo mutters, suddenly right there. His hands are on me before I can swat him away. One steadying my shoulders, the other pulling my hair back from my face. I want to shove him off, tell him to leave me alone, but I can't, because the retching won't stop.
Scarlett, you're not okay.
He murmurs when it finally subsides, his voice now gentler, but tight. I lean my head against the stone wall, swallowing hard. No kidding.
You need to come inside.
I'm not going back in there. My voice cracks.
You're sick.
Maybe. I wipe my mouth with the back of my hand, dizzy and cold and mortified. Or maybe I'm just tired. Maybe it's the stress, the lies.
Come inside. Now.
He doesn't ask again. He lifts me, arms under my knees and back, like it's nothing. I don't fight it. I can't. And it's infuriating how natural it feels. How much I want to bury my face in his neck and pretend this is something else. Something softer, something real. He carries me through the door I had just walked out of, sets me down gently on the edge of the couch. I look at him, his jaw clenched, eyes fierce with something that could almost be fear, and I whisper. I didn't want to believe it. I go on quietly, but when I saw the headlines and Hawthorne's name, I thought maybe he used me. Again, maybe this whole thing, us, was just leverage. His hands ball into fists at his sides.
I should have told you what I knew, but I didn't know how. I didn't know if I had the right.
I close my eyes. It's hard to trust people when you've survived a place that strips that from you every day.
I should have protected you, Scarlett. Back then. And now.
You don't owe me anything.
I do.
I look at him, really look at him. The way his shoulders seem heavier tonight. The way the space between us pulses, with everything we haven't said. You're not letting me leave, I whisper.
No.
Because I'm sick?
Because you're mine, even if I don't deserve you.
He says, voice husky, quiet, real. My throat tightens. I should run. Instead, I nod slowly. And for now, I stay. But the storm between us hasn't passed. It's only circling closer. The nausea starts before I even open my eyes. Deep and rolling, like the ground is tilting beneath me. I rush to the bathroom on instinct, hands cold against the porcelain, breathing hard, swallowing it down. It's not the first time, and that's exactly what scares me. I sit on the floor afterward, hugging my knees to my chest, trying to pretend this is just stress, just the fallout of the last week. The whispers, the headlines, the black SUVs that sit parked a little too long outside the building. Leo's company is under investigation. The same office that took everything from me 2 years ago, the same damn prosecutor, is back, circling, and I'm caught in the middle. Again, when I ask Leo about it, he shuts down. His answers are clipped, his eyes distant, like I'm a threat he can't afford to hold too close. And maybe I am, because they think I'm the link, the one piece that connects Leo to a long, ugly paper trail. So yeah, maybe I should be throwing up. But I know my body too well. This is something else. A pharmacy bag rests at the bottom of my purse, like it knows it's guilty. I stare at it for hours before I have the courage to go in, lock the door, and face the truth. The bathroom is still. Too still. And when the result flashes across the test strip, pregnant, the silence turns deafening. My heart stutters in my chest. The nausea has nothing to do with the investigation. It's a baby. His baby. I sink onto the edge of the tub, mouth dry, staring at my reflection in the mirror. My lips are pale, my eyes hollow. I look like someone else. I press a hand to my stomach. It's still flat, still silent, but something inside me has shifted. I feel it. This tiny spark of life I didn't ask for, didn't expect, didn't dare want. My brain races with math. The night in his bedroom, that night, the way he touched me like It was the only thing in the world that made sense. The way I gave in, over and over again, until my body felt raw with need and something dangerously close to love. No protection, no thought beyond him, his mouth, his voice, his hands. My breath catches. 1,000 thoughts spiral. What if he doesn't want it? What if he thinks I trapped him? What if the investigation turns on me again, and this baby never even gets a chance? I go to my room. I reach for the suitcase. It's half full from the last time I almost left. This time, I start filling it for real. Jeans, sweaters, toothbrush. The test goes into the side pocket, hidden, like a secret I'm not strong enough to say out loud. I can't stay. I can't face him with this right now. Not when the walls are closing in on all sides. Federal pressure, media vultures, Leo pacing the halls at night like a man who's losing control of everything. There's no room for softness here. No space for mistakes. And this baby, this tiny, perfect accident, it's both. I zip the suitcase shut, and then I hear it. Knuckles, soft against the door.
Scarlett,
His voice cuts through the air like a blade. I freeze.
I saw your light on. You okay?
Leo says, quieter now. I swallow. My hand slides over the pocket where the test is hidden. My mouth opens, but nothing comes out.
Scarlett,
He asks again, more gently this time. Yeah. I finally manage. I'm fine. Just tired. A pause. I imagine him on the other side of the door, barefoot, shirt rumpled, eyes unreadable, haunted.
try to sleep.
But I can't. I stay awake the rest of the night, curled up on top of the blankets, one hand on my stomach, one on the handle of the suitcase. There's a life inside me. There's a storm outside this door. And I don't know which one is going to destroy me first.
The first thing I notice when I get back to the penthouse is the suitcase, still sitting by her bedroom door. Same position, half zipped, half defiant. Like her, the lights are off, but I can hear her in the bathroom. Water running, soft rustle of clothes. Maybe she's packing again. Maybe she never stopped. I walk to the suitcase like it's a crime scene. Like some part of me already knows I'm about to find something I wasn't supposed to. I crouch down, unzip it. Her scent hits me first, faint, like vanilla and soap and something warmer, more dangerous. I see a folded sweater, one of mine shoved in between hers, and then a side pocket. My fingers pause over it. Something's tucked inside. I reach in, pull it out. Positive. A single word that detonates like a grenade in my chest. It's a pregnancy test. And it's hers. Scarlett. Pregnant. Pregnant, and she didn't tell me. I stand there in the dark, test still in my hand. Heart pounding like I'm about to face down a jury. Not a woman I've spent nights memorizing with my hands, my mouth, my soul. She knew. She knew and didn't say a damn thing. And somehow that's what burns. Not the baby. Not the timing. Not the headlines eating away at my company, like vultures circling blood. It's the silence. Her silence. The door creaks behind me. I turn, and there she is, barefoot, hair damp, towel twisted high, one hand clinging to the edge of the hallway, like she's holding up the entire world. Her eyes drop to the test in my hand. She goes pale. I don't speak. Not yet. Neither does she. It stretches, this silence. Tight and sharp like a pulled thread ready to snap. When were you going to tell me? My voice sounds rough. Strange. Like it doesn't belong to me. She swallows.
I didn't know how.
That didn't stop you before. A flicker of something crosses her face. Shame, maybe. Or fear. That gets me. Because I know that look. I've seen it in boardrooms, behind closed doors, in my own goddamn mirror. She thought I wouldn't want this. That I'd see it as a mistake. A trap. And maybe I would have, once. Before her. Before the way she looked at me like I wasn't a monster. Before the nights that felt too raw to be casual. too real to be forgotten. I close the distance between us in 2 steps. Scarlett, I say softer now. Why didn't you trust me? She doesn't answer, not with words, but her eyes, God, those eyes, fill with something wet and wild and broken. And I realize it has nothing to do with me, not really. It's deeper, older, buried. She's never had anyone stay. Never had anyone choose her when things got hard.
I didn't want to be your burden.
My hand lifts on instinct, brushing damp strands of hair from her cheek. You're not a burden.
You have enough going on, Leo. The company, the investigation, they're digging through your life like they want to set it on fire. And if they find out about this...
I shut her up with a kiss. Not soft, not gentle, desperate, because I need her to feel it. What's building in me? What's already here? Her hands clutch my shirt, pulling me in, like the only thing keeping her upright is me. And maybe that's true. But what she doesn't know is this. I'm already in too deep. This woman, this life growing inside her, they're mine. Ours. I pull back, forehead pressed to hers, breath tangled. We'll figure this out, I say. She shakes her head.
You don't know what it'll cost.
Doesn't matter. My thumb rests on her jaw, just beneath her trembling lip. I don't care about the company. I care about you. About this. About us. The walls around us are cracked. Maybe they've always been. But for the first time in a long time, I want to build something real in the ruins. And I don't plan on letting her walk away again. Some nights, the past doesn't knock. It breaks the door down. Scarlett's sleeping beside me, bare soft. One hand curled protectively over her stomach. My child is in there. Ours. And I'm supposed to feel something like joy. Hope. But all I feel is fear. Not the kind that comes with lawsuits or subpoenas. Not even the kind that follows headlines and shareholder meetings. No, this fear is different. Primal. Paralyzing. Because I've lost before. I leave the bed quietly, my feet silent against the cold floor. There's a photograph in the top drawer of my office. Been there for years. I only open it when I forget how to breathe. A sonogram. My first child. Ava. Camille never wanted her. She wanted power, leverage, control. The baby was just another pawn, until it wasn't. One fight too many. One storm too loud. She drove off with rage in her spine and venom on her tongue, and never came back. The accident was instant. The silence after it, eternal. I didn't get to hold my daughter. Didn't get to say goodbye. I buried her with a name no one ever spoke again. Not in the boardroom. Not in the press. Not even in my own mind. Until now. Scarlett changed everything. She walked in, eyes wild and guarded, and suddenly I remembered what it was like to want something for no reason other than the way it made your chest ache in the best damn way. And now she's carrying life. My life. A second chance. But she didn't tell me. She was going to leave. And maybe. I understand why. Because I'm not an easy man to love. Hell, I don't even know if I've ever really done it right. But when I saw that test in her suitcase, it felt like something cracked in me. Not anger, not betrayal, just fear, cold and absolute. I've faced billion-dollar audits without blinking, watched empire after empire try to claw me down. I've walked into courtrooms where my name was synonymous with ruthlessness, and I never flinched. But the thought of losing her, of losing that baby, that's what brings me to my knees. Not my company, not my reputation. Not the empire I built with bloody hands and sleepless nights. Just her. Just the weight of her head on my chest at midnight. Just the sound of her laugh echoing against my ribs. Just the heartbeat I haven't heard yet, but already love more than anything I've ever fought for. I crawl back into bed and wrap my arm around her. Pull her close like my life depends on it. Maybe it does. She murmurs something in her sleep, soft and broken. My name, and I swear to God, if the world ever tries to take her from me, I won't just fight. I'll burn everything I've built to the ground.
The hardest part wasn't packing the bag. It was not waking him up to say goodbye. Leo was lying there, shirtless, arm draped across my side like he always did. Like I belonged there. Like maybe he'd finally started to believe I wasn't going anywhere. And then I went. I didn't take much. A few clothes, the prenatal vitamins, and the pregnant test tucked inside a dog-eared paperback I knew he'd never read. It still smelled like his cologne. The bus ride out of Manhattan was too quiet. I sat by the window, fingers clenched around my stomach, as if I could keep everything from falling apart just by holding still. I told myself I was protecting him, that the Hawthorne investigation would only get worse, that if they called Leo to testify, if they dragged my name back into court, I'd be nothing more than a liability. Again, he said he'd burn the city for me, but he doesn't know what it's like to actually be burned. To feel your wrists go raw from cuffs, your mouth dry from hours in interrogation, your name reduced to nothing but a case number. I do, and I'll be damned if I let that happen to him. So I ran. The town I found is quiet, sleepy, the kind of place where nothing happens fast, and everyone knows your name before you speak. Sadie, my cellmate turned confidant, lives here. She didn't ask questions when I showed up on her porch with swollen ankles and haunted eyes. Just handed me a spare key and a cup of mint tea. Now we work side by side in the kitchen of a dusty little diner called Benny's. She flips pancakes. I prep the lunch shift. We talk about anything but the past. Still, it follows me, in the way my stomach tightens every morning before dawn, in the way the baby kicks when I pause by the window, staring toward the city skyline I can no longer see. And, God, sometimes I miss him so bad, I think I might drown in it. Leo, his voice in the dark, his hands on my hips, the way he looked at me like I was fire and gravity and storm, all at once. The way he kissed me after the fight in the hallway, like he'd been starving for years. Some nights, I press my palm to the stretch of skin just under my ribs and whisper things I should have told him, that I was scared, that I loved him, that it was never about running from him, only the pain that might follow. And still, no matter how far I run, the truth grows inside me. Tiny, quiet, relentless. I'm not alone anymore, and I'm not sure how long I can pretend I'm okay with that.
Her name didn't come from her lips this time. It came from a hospital log, a faceless clerk, a whisper through the phone that felt like thunder in my bones. Scarlett Hayes, emergency intake, 3rd floor, possible preterm labor. I don't remember driving. I don't remember parking. All I know is that I tore through those sliding doors like a man who'd finally run out of time. Months. I've been looking for her for months. After she vanished, I let the board meetings rot. The investors panic, the press spin. Let the lawyers scream into phones while the walls of the company trembled around them. Because none of it mattered. Not if she wasn't in it. They called me obsessed. Said I'd lost my mind. Maybe I did. But I'd rather lose every dollar I've made than spend one more night in that penthouse without her. And now here she is. Room 312. There's a nurse trying to block the door, saying something about protocols, about NICU teams and fetal monitors and blood pressure spikes. But her voice sounds like static behind the roar in my ears. Then I hear it. Her voice. A low, pained sound, half moan, half fear. And it cuts through me like a goddamn knife. Move. I growl, pushing past the nurse. The moment I walk in, she sees me. And I swear, the whole world stops. Her hair's a mess, sweat clinging to her temples. She's pale, eyes wide with pain. But still, she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Leo.
She breathes like I'm a ghost. I drop to my knees beside the bed without a second thought. Not because I'm trying to be dramatic, but because it's the only way I can look up at her and say what needs to be said. I'm sorry. I choke out. I'm sorry I let you think you had to do this alone. I'm sorry I didn't come sooner. I didn't know where. She winces. A contraction hits. Hard. I grab her hand and press it to my lips. I'm here. I swear to God, Scarlett, I'm not leaving. Not this time. Not ever. Her eyes fill with tears.
You can't fix this.
I don't want to fix it. I rest my forehead against her arm. I just want you. You and our baby. I don't give a damn about the company, or the case, or the press. I'd burn it all down if it meant keeping you both safe. Another contraction. Her grip tightens on mine. The monitors beep faster. Nurses come in. One of them says something about the baby being in distress, about steroids, about NICU prep. Scarlett starts to cry. Silent, broken sobs. I cup her face. Hey, look at me. Her gaze locks on mine. You are the bravest, fiercest, most maddening woman I've ever known. You survived things I wouldn't wish on my enemies. And you're not alone anymore. Do you hear me? My voice breaks. I'm right here, and I'm not letting go. There's no time for pretty speeches after that. Only sirens of machines. Shouted orders. Scrubs rushing her down the hallway. I run beside the gurney. Heart in my throat. Knees weak. Lungs burning. The man I was 6 months ago. He's gone. He died the moment I realized the only thing worth fighting for had already walked out the door. But now, God help me, I'll fight like hell to bring her home.
The room is too bright, too cold, too loud, and yet, I can barely keep my eyes open. Everything feels like it's underwater. The beeping machines, the nurses shouting numbers, the wet heat between my legs. Blood. I can smell it. My blood.
Scarlett, hey, look at me. Stay with me.
Leo's voice cuts through the noise. He's right beside me, gripping my hand like he's anchoring me to this world. I don't think he even realizes he's crying. His lips are at my ear.
You're not going anywhere. Do you hear me?
I want to answer him. I try, but my throat is dry. My body is trembling. My heart feels like it's skipping beats just to tease him.
Scarlett, breathe with me. Just breathe.
He presses his forehead to mine, voice shaking.
Come on, baby, come back to me. You can hate me later. Scream at me. Leave me. But not now. Not like this.
Something warm slides down my cheek. His tears, maybe. Or mine. I feel the pressure, the pulling, the tearing. God, it burns. Then a noise cuts through the chaos. A sound so small, so high, so fragile. A cry. I think it's the baby. I try to turn my head, but everything goes dark at the edges. I can't move. I feel like I'm floating above myself, watching Leo's face contort, like he's watching me die right in front of him.
Scarlett, please don't leave me. Please. God, I should have said it sooner, but I love you. I love you. And I don't know how to do this world without you in it. You're in my blood now. You're in everything.
I want to hold that, wrap those words around me like a blanket, but my body's too weak. Everything fades. I wake up hours later. The room is quiet now, dim. I'm cold. I blink slowly, and a shape moves in the corner. Leo. He's in a chair beside the bed, bent forward, elbows on his knees, like he's been praying or begging or both. When he hears me stir, he jumps up.
Scarlett.
His voice cracks. I try to speak, but all I get out is, the baby? He nods quickly, eyes shining.
She's alive. They had to take her straight to the NICU. She's tiny, but strong, like her mother.
Tears slide down my cheeks. I survived. She survived. Leo leans down and kisses my forehead, softly at first, then just stays there, lips pressed to my skin like he's afraid I'll vanish if he lets go.
I meant every word I said. I'm not leaving. Not again. Not for a second.
And, for the first time in a long time, I let myself believe it.
She fits in my arms like something sacred. Fragile, warm, impossibly small. Wrapped in soft hospital linen and wires that scare the hell out of me. But her heartbeat is strong. Her tiny chest rises and falls, and sometimes her little fingers twitch like she's already fighting the world. Just like her mother. I sit there for hours, holding my daughter, whispering to her about stars and oceans and how she's never going to be alone. Not while I'm breathing. The glass wall of the NICU reflects a man I barely recognize. No suit, no watch, no phone. I haven't stepped foot inside the boardroom since I got that call. The company can burn. Let them tear it apart if they want. I'll rebuild it brick by goddamn brick if I have to. But if I lose them again, there won't be anything left worth saving. Scarlett watches me from across the room. She's in the chair near the incubator, her skin still pale. But her eyes, God, her eyes, carry fire again. And doubt. I can feel it. It's in the way her body tenses when I brush her fingers. It's in the way she looks at our daughter, then quickly looks away, like she's bracing for the moment I disappear. But I won't. Not now. Not ever. Scarlett, I say one night, voice rough from too many hours of silence. She's curled on the couch in the hospital room, eyes half-lidded, exhausted. She looks up.
Yeah.
I love you. It's not grand, not dramatic. Just 3 words in the dark, but they land like thunder between us. She blinks.
Don't say that just because she's here.
I'm not. I move closer, kneel in front of her like I have nothing left to prove, because I don't. I loved you before I ever knew she existed. I just didn't know what to do with it. Her throat moves when she swallows.
And now?
Now I want to hear you say my name. Not because you're angry. Not because you're afraid I'll walk away again. I want to hear it when you're safe. When you're mine. Her breath catches.
Leo.
She whispers. Soft. Unsteady. Like a prayer that's never been spoken out loud. And God, I almost break. I dropped the legal team. Fired the bastards who were still digging into your past. I say, voice trembling with the weight of it. None of it matters. The company's stabilizing. I made a statement. Full responsibility. It's mine, not yours. Her eyes blur with tears.
Why?
Because I want a life with you, I say. Not headlines. Not profit margins. Just you. And her. A life where I wake up and hear you laugh. Where I watch you cook barefoot in the kitchen while she throws peas on the floor. She smiles. Not a big one. Just enough. But it's real. I lean in, my hands brushing her thighs, slow and reverent, and I kiss her soft, slow. The kind of kiss that doesn't ask for permission. The kind that says stay. The kind that says forever. She doesn't stop me. And when she finally breathes my name again, lips against my neck, I know this time, she means it.
The city never sleeps, but tonight, our world is quiet. We're finally home. Not the sterile walls of the NICU. Not the hum of machines or the endless shuffle of nurses. Just us. Just this penthouse. Far too big. Too beautiful. And yet, for the first time, it doesn't feel like something I don't belong in. It feels like a beginning. The lights are dim. Our daughter is asleep in the bassinet near the window, wrapped in soft pink cotton and dreams. Her tiny breaths fill the silence with something so alive it makes my chest ache. Leo is across the room, pacing barefoot in sweatpants and a white tee that clings to his chest like it was sewn for sin. His hair is tousled, messy from a long day of feedings and diaper changes, and the life we've built in 1 month that somehow feels deeper than anything I've lived before. But there's still a part of me that waits for the cracks. I can't help it. I've spent so long preparing for the goodbye, for the betrayal, for the cruel twist of fate that comes when happiness feels too close. So, when he drops to one knee, slowly, quietly, like he knows noise would break me, my breath leaves my body. He doesn't say a word, He just opens a velvet box. No spotlight, no performance, no speech. Just him, kneeling in the soft light of our living room, the skyline glowing behind him, our daughter breathing beside us, and a single ring that glints like it's been waiting for this moment all its life. My hand trembles. Leo. His eyes are locked on mine, honest, open, and so full of love it nearly undoes me. He doesn't need to say it. Marry me. I hear it in every breath he's taken since the hospital, since he sat beside me, night after night, whispering to our girl that we'd be okay, since he handed over everything he ever clung to just to prove to me that we weren't a mistake. We never were. I stepped toward him, slowly, carefully. My knees hit the rug as I drop down too. He lets out a breath like he's been holding it for years. I press my forehead to his, tears falling freely now, and whisper, yes. His arms pull me in. Not fast, not rough, just right. The kind of embrace that tells you you're safe. You're home. You're loved. His lips find mine in a kiss that tastes like promises, like time, like everything we never said finally taking shape between us. And when he lays me down on the couch, his body moving over mine, every touch is reverent, like he's worshiping something he never thought he deserved. My skin burns under his fingers, but it's not lust, it's devotion, a need that goes deeper than sex, deeper than skin. He moves like he's memorizing me, and I let him, because, for the first time in forever, I believe him. We are not a mistake. We never were.
There's something sacred about the sound of her laughter in the kitchen. It's soft, low, and melts into the clinking of silverware and the faint rustle of morning. Our daughter, Ava Grace, is on my lap, her little fingers tangled in my shirt, babbling nonsense while I pretend to read emails I haven't actually opened in weeks. Because nothing in that inbox matters more than this moment, than her, than them. Scarlett walks into the room with flour on her cheek and a sparkle in her eyes, like she's carrying some secret joy she hasn't told me yet. She moves with the kind of ease that tells me she finally believes this is real, that I'm not going anywhere, that I'm hers fully, shamelessly, endlessly. She kisses Ava's head, then mine, then disappears into the hallway, humming a tune she's been obsessively using for wedding planning.
It has to be ours, Leo. Not too polished, not too cold. Just us.
I told her we could marry in a field or a gas station bathroom for all I care, as long as she's the one walking toward me. But she found a chapel, small, tucked into the hills north of the city. White walls, ivy creeping up the stone, and enough warmth in its bones to make you believe in forever. We're keeping it intimate, just a few people. No press, no business partners, no ghosts. Just us and those who held us up when we almost drowned. I looked down at Ava Grace, her sleepy eyes so much like Scarlett's it hurts. We named her after the little girl I lost, the one I never got to hold, the one whose name lived in silence inside me for too long. Scarlett gave me a second chance I never thought I deserved. Not just to be a father, but to feel again, to remember that love can be healing, not punishment. I sold the company, the one I built with blood and sleepless nights, the one that almost cost me my soul. I walked away when the dust settled and the lawyers stopped circling like vultures. No headlines, no drama, just a quiet goodbye. Now I invest, from home, from the nursery, or the garden where Scarlett planted lavender last spring. I take meetings with Ava on my chest and Scarlett's feet in my lap. I live in a world I never dreamed possible. At night, when the house goes still, we make love slowly, not with the desperation of people trying to forget, but the tenderness of those who remember everything and choose each other anyway. Every time, again and again, she whispers my name like it's a vow, and I say hers like a prayer. We're not perfect. We argue over dumb things, like guest lists and flower colors, and why I keep forgetting to take the laundry out of the washer. But God, I wouldn't trade 1 second of it. Not one. Tomorrow, we'll walk down that aisle. Just us and the girl who made us a family. Scarlett will wear a simple white dress she picked out with shaky hands and a wide smile. I'll be standing there, probably blinking back tears like a fool. And when she takes my hand, I'll say it. Not just with words, but with everything I am. I choose you. Over and over. Until the end of days.